Hey, this is Steve and I am with True Health, and today I want to show you what's going on in the greenhouse. This is my original greenhouse that I built, and I have been working out here to change it up a little bit. One of the things that I found is I could grow tomatoes really awesomely well during the summertime, and I rolled up the bottom sides of this so it creates some really good wind going through here and cross ventilation, so that is really good. And also all of the bugs that are pollinators will actually come through the bird netting here and come in and pollinate what I have in here, which is peppers, and I have eggplant, and I also have a variety of tomatoes and also basil and stuff like that in here, and it is growing really well. Last year I got so many tomatoes from the inside of this greenhouse, and I hadn't really planned on doing some, but I just threw some in the back and started leading them up strings. So I got a lot of these striped tomatoes, and I also got a lot of these black tomatoes that I had as well. So I want to show you what's going on in the greenhouse. I'm changing it up a bit, and down in this trench that I had to actually suck out some of the 50-degree air, I'm doing a Hugelkultur bed instead. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because I am also building a large greenhouse made out of PVC pipe. It's a zip tie greenhouse that's going to be 15 feet tall and 25 feet wide. So I'm going to have a lot of space in that particular greenhouse, but that's going to be more of kind of like a show place where I can go in and actually create some really nice beds inside, and that'll be really awesome for the winter time. So I'm really excited about that. But this one as well can produce a lot in the winter, so it may not be a place where you can kind of hang out and sit, so the other greenhouse is going to be more for that. So I want to show you what's going on here. I'm doing the Hugelkultur type method where you put a variety of things in here that are going to decompose, that's going to turn to soil, that's going to act like a sponge, and that is actually going to be like so good for the vegetables that I actually put in here. So let me just focus in on it and show you what's going on. Alright, so I'm filling this baby back in, and I'm probably going to do the same method that I was doing before in the greenhouse, where I will dig around the new greenhouse that I'm building and put some pipe to get some 50 to 52 degree air in there. But so this is a lot of the logs that I put in here. I have some big ones that were like charred, like outside when we were doing fires in the fire pit. And also these are mushroom logs that actually worked really well, and they're kind of expired now, so they are not going to be doing too much, but they do have a lot of mycelium activity on there, and there's some great turkey tail mushrooms that are in here, which is going to help produce mycelium that should be going through all of this other wood that is in here. So that should work awesomely for this greenhouse. And I'm going to top dress this with some really decent soil and some really good organic soil, probably some black cow or something like that as well, and it should work really well for growing some awesome vegetables. Okay, so in the cinder blocks on this side, I have flowers, and I also have some basil down the row, and that is growing really well. It's a smaller basil, and I went with big Marconi peppers, and man, these things actually rock. I would not plant any other pepper now that I've planted these, because the peppers are so incredibly huge. They're really long, about 1 foot long, really thick walls, really sweet. They are so awesome. So I'm so glad I planted 8 of those this year. And down here I have my eggplant, and they are starting to really take off. It was really hard to get eggplant this year because of COVID-19. Everybody was buying up certain types of plants just to make sure that they could have enough in their garden in case there was more of this pandemic going on and lasting, and I get that. So anyway, down here we have squash, and if you see what I'm doing, I'm putting poles in there. I saw this method used in Elliot Coleman's garden in Maine, and I thought it was really strange. You could see like all of this fruit of the squash going up the poles, and then there's no leaves on the bottom, and it would just like wrap around the poles. So you plant one a couple inches from the pole, and then you keep like turning it around, and it saves so much space in your squash. These are my Black Beauty tomatoes right here, and they are doing pretty well. Started them from seeds. These are mortgage lifter tomatoes right here, and I'm sure those will do pretty good. I hope it actually pays my mortgage from 4 plants. If you've never tried putting tomatoes going up a string, I didn't think it was actually going to work, and last year it worked so well. The tomatoes just wrap around once they get going, and if they don't quite do it fast enough, you can just help them along, and man, you will have so many tomatoes. Okay, and one of the things I didn't want to leave out is what our friendly cows are going to be doing for us, and they are going to be helping this Hugelkultur-like atmosphere inside the greenhouse with some of this nice cow poop out here. Okay, so we have got the ground actually filled up on this side here. Just going to show you what it looks like, and it's going to be ready for planting soon. And I think I'm pretty much going to do most of this with strings coming down so that tomatoes can actually be grown in here. So it actually doesn't take up much space going vertical like that, and the tomatoes are actually going to come out quite good, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so this is where it was all filled in, and it went as deep as 5 feet, and it has a ton of logs and debris in the bottom. So basically it is a Hugel type culture bed, and that's going to be really awesome when the nutrients of that comes up through worms and all kinds of stuff. So it's actually going to be amazing dirt. Hey, so this is the last part of our video, and it is actually going to show the finished product of what I'm doing inside this greenhouse. So I put in a bunch of tomato plants, all different types. I've got green zebra, I've got oxheart. I also have San Marzano tomatoes in the back right there, and I've got the black tomatoes and a few others, some grape tomatoes as well. Anyway, so I've got this all planted in here. I've got strings around each one of them, and they are going to be twisted all the way up to the top. If they make it to the top here, then I'm going to take and tie strings to bridge it over here and then bring it down to the other side. So that'll actually help increase the tomato production. I've seen that at University of Rhode Island. They actually had a great video on extending your tomatoes if they just keep growing. Okay, so this is the tomato area. This was a Hugelkultur-like bed that was put in, and so it was all filled up with sticks and debris and dirt and stuff like that to make a good sponge that would corrode over time and actually help bring up a lot of nutrients and worms and all that type of stuff. Last year I actually put tomatoes in the back here, And these did so incredibly well. They went all the way up to the top by the end of the year, and then started growing in odd places and hanging down again. So I hope to visit you in upcoming videos, and the next video on the docket is actually going to be the formation of my geodesic dome. I am so excited about this. Thanks so much for watching, and please don't hesitate to hit like and subscribe, and sweat a little bit with me. And make sure you sweat a little bit with me.